The following program was produced by the students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
On this edition of Fast Track, a visit to Indianapolis showed comm students the potential their degrees hold as they meet with a Lamb School alumni, who now spends her time on Channel 6. A local book sale that is selling much more than just hardcovers and paperbacks, what they've got and how it helps your community. Here's Fast Track with the latest campus news. Hello and welcome to another week of Fast Track News Magazine. I'm your host, Taylor Dacre.
And I'm Macy Tetrick. In a college town, one thing people go through a lot of is books. Reporter Maggie Merchkovich visited a local book sale where proceeds are being used to fund important community projects.
If you love discounted books, media, and games, then the Friends of Tippecanoe Public Library book sale is just right for you. Here you can find everything from children's and young adult literature to westerns and comic books. But if you don't know what you're looking for, don't worry. Suzanne Cunningham is here to help.
I'm chair of the book sale committee for the TCPL Friends.
Awesome. And can you tell me about the book sale?
A quarterly event that is comprised of fiction and nonfiction books that have been donated or withdrawn from the library shelves, hardbacks, paperbacks, some specialty books, nearly new books, 2018 prints, just currently printing. Children's books that some of them are practically perfect in the sense that I think they have never even been opened by a person and they've donated to us, so they're practically brand new.
But this sale has more than just books.
The other thing we get is a lot of puzzles and games. There are right now 8 boxes of puzzles sitting in the McAllister room of jigsaw puzzles. The other thing is we have media, which is music CDs. Generally movie DVDs, we have movie TV, and then we have audiobooks.
Sales from the event also help support the local library and community.
The proceeds go to the Friends. It generally goes to scholarship committees for staff members of the library who want to go to school and continue their education. It supports the author visits, the adult and the children's author visits, the summer reading program at the 3 libraries. It supports the summer reading programs. And feel free to come on down and join the fun. We have books for everybody, and if you can't find a book, I'll find a book for you.
Maggie Merchkovich, Fast Track News.
Thanks, Maggie. While many students are enjoying the last few warm weeks of summer, others already have the holidays on their minds. Declan McInerney visited the class of 1950 lecture hall to see why students are celebrating Christmas in September.
Normally, in the class of 1950 building, you would not hear the sound of cheering or bells. But recently, hundreds of students and donors gathered here for the unveiling of Purdue's annual Christmas show. Despite it only being September, many students, including freshman Purdueette Grace Van Dalen, are already making preparations for the December show.
I'm really excited for our opener because it's like a medley of a bunch of different Christmas songs.
This year, the show will include music from 5 different choirs, smaller mixed groups, and the Purdue Bell Choir. The unveiling was the opportunity for them to hear and get excited about the songs they will be performing. Prior to the unveiling, Purdue Musical Organization staff had been planning the show since February.
Yeah, I'm Bill Brett. I'm the director of Purdue Musical Organization. I also direct Purdue Varsity.
Although Bill has been here since 2008, the Christmas show is in its 85th year here at Purdue and will feature over 200 dedicated students, all of whom will be increasingly busy with the production throughout the semester.
Here we start rehearsing, so beginning next week we'll start our sectional rehearsals, and before we know it, we'll be on the stage at Elliott doing our final our dress rehearsals and doing that first performance at the end of November, so we're really excited.
Purdue Musical Organization will be selling tickets all semester long, but be sure to get yours as they typically sell out. Fast Track News, I'm Declan McInerney.
To learn more about Purdue musical organizations or to order your tickets, visit the PMO website at purdue.edu/PMO.
Coming up on Fast Track, a look at how news has changed through the eyes of a Brian Lamb alumna.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. In not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Welcome back to Fast Track News. When it comes to networking, a great place to start is with alumni. A group of Fast Track reporters took a trip to Indianapolis on Friday to meet with Meredith Barrick, a Lamb School alumna who is an anchor and a reporter for Good Morning Indiana on Channel 6.
I am Meredith Barrick, and I'm an anchor on RTV6 for Good Morning Indiana.
Lamb School alumni Meredith spent 6 years, worked her way up to the morning news anchor. Why she loved what she does, Meredith said her interest started young.
I love doing news because each day is different. A lot of times I come in in the morning and I don't know what the day ahead of me is. Sometimes, the newscast, it'll be a slow news day. Yes, you'll have those. But a lot of times throughout our 2.5-hour morning show, things will be changing. Things will be evolving. So it kind of keeps you on your toes and keeps things interesting, and no 2 days are ever the same. Throughout my entire life, I always had an interest in news. I remember really big major news events. I was only in kindergarten when O.J. Simpson happened. I remember that whole ordeal. I was in 6th grade when 9/11 occurred, and I remember being glued to the TV and watching Ashley Banfield and thinking, she's so brave. That is so amazing how she's standing out there, and wow, she's so close to ground zero, and she wasn't breaking at all, and she didn't flinch, for a second. So major moments like that, I remember, being fascinated as a kid by the Oklahoma City bombings and John Bonet, these major news things that other kids had no clue about, but for some reason I was really, really interested in, and I've always had a curiosity about what other people are up to. You could say I'm, nosy, and that's probably what, I would have been called as a kid.
Meredith told us how Fast Track classes in Purdue prepared her for the real world in news market.
The Fast Track program, when I was in school, it was really still being fine-tuned at that point. It wasn't what it is today by any means. But, we had to go out there with our cameras and our gear, and we were told, figure out a story. And there are only so many stories on, campus in West Lafayette. And that helped me then, okay, how can I make a news story out of something? And how can I be creative about it and not just maybe shoot stagnant shots and get some movement? And it also taught me, you're going to have to talk to people, and you might encounter people who don't want to talk to you. So learning those skills that you can't really learn day to day in real life, but when you're given a camera and a task at hand and you have to complete it, that, having to do that over my 4 years really, really helped.
When asking the tips for soon graduate Boilermakers, Meredith cannot emphasize more on opportunities.
Sometimes I think students may think they're at a disadvantage being at Purdue and being in a more rural community like West Lafayette, but being in between Chicago and Indianapolis, there are so many great opportunities that you can take advantage of while being a student there, and I certainly did that, and I was exposed to things that I probably otherwise wouldn't have been, and I got the chance to go and do things that have now landed me here, have given me that life experience, and really helped me become the professional that I am today.
We would love to hear more from our Lamb School alumni and how they got where they at in the future. For Fast Track, reporter Ding Dan Ho and Xiaohan Lu.
Researchers here at Purdue have come up with a unique approach that lets experienced surgeons help less experienced doctors in war zones and rural areas around the world. Fast Track's Mike Folta shows us how the technology can save lives when seconds count.
In this sleepy corner of campus, Purdue students work every day to save lives.
So my name is Edgar Rojas, and I'm a PhD student of industrial engineering, and I am a member of the Intelligent Systems and Assistive Technologies Laboratory. And we're working here in this project called STAR, which is the system for telementoring with augmented reality.
This STAR program is an augmented reality system that will help surgeons at home guide medics through assisting patients in the field with major trauma. Patients like Frankie, a $50,000 test dummy that has seen better days. That being said, Frankie is in the exact condition that Munoz expects soldiers to be in when this technology is deployed.
Basically, the idea of the project is that we want to be able to transfer surgical expertise remotely. So whenever a surgeon in an austere location like a battlefield needs assistance throughout the procedure, he or she can connect remotely to a surgeon that can guide him or her throughout the procedure using our augmented reality device.
Munoz explains that the headgear, or HoloLens, uses two cameras to create a 3D rendering of the environment around the patient.
Once I have this stable view, I can very easily, with just simple touch controls, create surgical annotations. For example, if I want the person to create a line, I can just very easily draw a line in here and then send an icon of a scalpel, for example. And the good thing is that whatever I annotate here as 2D images are going to be seen as 3D objects through the head-mounted display. So, can you trace the annotation back again? Yep. So as you see, she's tracing where she is looking that line as looked through her headset.
We got to watch as Munoz pretended to operate on Frankie. The image on the television screen is what Munoz can see through the HoloLens, and what a surgeon would see if a medic were attending a soldier on the battlefield. But Edgar Munoz thinks that this technology can have a civilian impact as well.
So this can be applied to any other scenario. I can see this being applied in a manufacturing scenario where someone needs to assemble a robot, and then someone else can guide him or her throughout the process of assembling the robot, for example. This can be used just like an educational tool, instead of having, this can actually transform the way that classes in general are done.
The program isn't ready quite yet, but who knows how many lives this technology could touch in the future. For Fast Track Student News, I'm Mike Folta.
Thanks, Mike. Football season is just beginning here on campus. Coming up, Purdue football and what they're doing to prepare for the weekend's game.
One of the things that I really enjoy about being a professor at Purdue and being able to interact with students is that oftentimes I get emails from students several years on after they've graduated saying your course changed the way that I look at sport. Your course changed the way that I think about our society. My research focuses on the amount of coverage and the type of coverage of men's and women's sports on televised news and sports highlight shows. What kinds of stories are the media telling about sports, and then how does that inform and impact the way we think about gender and race? My freshman year, everything was about boys football and boys basketball. We didn't have the language or the ability to articulate or to know better that if we were supporting the boys team, we should have been supporting the girls team as well. So I was really interested in kind of learning more about the cultural aspects of why some of those gender differences might exist. The problem that I'm trying to solve is how do we address the larger inequalities within sport that relate specifically to sociocultural factors. For me, that's important. It's just exposing students to a different way of thinking about and seeing their world.
Welcome back to Fast Track News. The Purdue Boilermakers take the football field again this weekend to try and get their first win of the season. They're 0-3 so far, after coming so close to a win last weekend, but ultimately falling short as they took on the Missouri Tigers. Fast Track's Sydney Tucker explains what happened and what the coach says they need to do to win.
Fans filled the stands of Ross-Ade Stadium Saturday night when Purdue took on Mizzou. Last year, Purdue won 35-3, but the Tigers weren't going down without a fight this time. It was a close game, but the Tigers beat the Boilermakers 40-37 when Mizzou scored a field goal in the last 3 seconds.
I do think we played to win. I do think we played aggressive, and I do think they gave us some good effort. Unfortunately, we're not a good football team right now, and I think anybody that watches us play knows that. We've got a lot of work to do to get better at a lot of positions. Once again, unfortunately, we made some costly mistakes that cost us. So I'll take the blame for dumb penalties again. Unfortunately, some things cost us, and we can't be good teams making mistakes. Well, the good thing is that up until now, I think our guys are playing, and I think they're competing. And as much as someone that may not want to hear it, I think they're giving us, to a certain degree, as much as they can. Now, we got to get more out of them, and we got to get them to work harder. We got to get them to improve. We got to get them to play with even more effort. But I think they did play today to win, and I think they came ready to play. We played a good football team, and we had a chance, and we shot ourselves in the foot.
Come see Purdue play at Ross-Ade Saturday as they take on the Boston Eagles. Kickoff is at 12 noon. We'll be right back.
If you're a student who would like to save thousands of dollars and also show the world that you're a real go-getter, here's a way to do it. I hope every graduate of our College of Liberal Arts shares my intense pride in the college for its new innovation, the Degree in 3 program. Special congratulations to all those enterprising liberal arts students who want to come get a first-rate liberal arts education and do it on a faster track.
That's all we have for this week's episode of Fast Track News Magazine. I'm Macy Tetrick.
And I'm Taylor Deka. We'll see you next time.